Have you ever wondered why the women you truly want somehow never become yours, even though other women seem to notice you easily? Why is it that the moment you show interest in the woman you're actually drawn to, she pulls back? But the moment you give zero interest to someone else, they chase you. And here's the strange part. If you're a good-looking man, if people have told you your whole life that you're handsome, charming, attractive, then this experience hits even harder. Because deep down you're thinking, wait, shouldn't this be easier for me? Shouldn't the woman I want be the one who chooses me? But she doesn't. At least, not yet. And today you're going to understand exactly why. Because behind this whole dynamic, behind the frustration, the confusion, the push-pull, the almost relationships that never become real, there are 4 psychological reasons that explain why attractive men often fail to get the women they truly desire. And reason number 4 is the silent trap every attractive man falls into without realizing it's happening. Before we dive in, I want you to do something for yourself. Take a breath. Let go of whatever you think the problem is, because I promise you, what you're about to hear will flip your perspective upside down. All right, let's begin with the first reason. Reason 1, he attracts women, but not the ones he truly wants. Let me tell you something most men never realize. Being attractive is both a blessing and a trap. Because when you're good looking, you naturally receive attention. Women smile at you, they reply quickly, they flirt lightly, and many of them make it almost effortless for you to start something. But here's the twist. The women who pursue you the most are rarely the women you actually want. You get messages from women who admire you. You get hints, compliments, playful comments. And because it's easy, because there's no challenge, no tension, no uncertainty, you start engaging with them. Not because you chose them, but because they were already there. And that's the psychological trap. You become the one who is chosen instead of the one who chooses. It feels good in the moment to be desired, to be wanted, to be noticed. But over time, convenience starts to replace compatibility. Comfort replaces intention, and attraction replaces connection. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a guy named Daniel, tall, handsome, charismatic smile, the type of guy who naturally gets attention without trying. Every few days, a new girl messages him. Someone compliments him at the gym. Someone slides into his DMs. Someone jokes about grabbing coffee sometime. But none of those are the women he actually wants. Still, because it's easy, Daniel entertains the conversation. He hangs out. He flirts back. He lets things go further because, why not? It's there. But here's the predictable pattern. After a while, he realizes she's not what he's looking for. He loses interest. He pulls back emotionally. She feels the shift instantly. Women always do. And suddenly, drama, confusion, emotional expectations then collapse. And Daniel tells himself, maybe I'm just not meant to find the right one. But no, the truth is simpler. He was never choosing. He was just responding. Most attractive men don't fail with women because they lack options. They fail because they mistake attention for alignment. They confuse admiration with compatibility. So let me ask you this, and be brutally honest. How many times have you ended up with a woman simply because she seemed available? If you felt called out, good. That means you're waking up. And before we continue, I want you to comment below. Do I choose? Or do I get chosen? That one question can change your entire dating life. Reason 2, he misreads the reactions of beautiful women. Now let's go deeper, because the second reason is where most attractive men lose the women they genuinely want. Here's what happens. You're used to women being warm, friendly, receptive. You're used to smiles. You're used to playful responses. You're used to the easy flow of attention. But with the woman you actually like, she's different. She's calm. She's reserved. She doesn't give obvious green lights. She doesn't laugh too easily. She doesn't mirror your excitement, and your brain goes straight into panic mode. You start thinking, she doesn't like me. She's not impressed. I'm not good enough for her. But here's the psychological truth. Beautiful women, especially high-quality, emotionally mature ones, don't give strong green lights in the beginning. Why? Because they're evaluating you. They're observing. They're checking your consistency. They're watching how you handle uncertainty. They're feeling out your stability. For them, subtlety isn't rejection. It's screening. But for attractive men, silence feels like judgment. Neutrality feels like rejection. Calmness feels like disinterest. So what do? They overcompensate. They talk more, explain more, try harder. Try to fix her neutral reaction by becoming more entertaining, more available, more expressive. And that's when everything collapses. Because now, the confident, grounded man she was observing is replaced by a man who suddenly looks insecure under pressure. Let me give you a real example. Chris, another good-looking guy. Every time he talks to women who aren't really his type, they laugh, flirt, and give instant feedback. He's relaxed, he's smooth, he's unbothered. But when he meets a woman who fits his ideal, confident, elegant, graceful, suddenly he becomes a different version of himself. She's not overly expressive. She gives short answers, not cold, just composed. And Chris interprets this as, oh, she must think I'm not good enough. So he talks fast. He jokes too much. He fills every silence. He tries to impress instead of connect. And in that moment, he loses her. Not because he wasn't attractive, but because he misunderstood her baseline. Beautiful women don't rush. They don't give free validation. They don't reward nervous behavior. They don't respond to pressure. They test, not by intention, but by nature. And the test is simple. Can you stay grounded even when you're not getting constant reassurance? So let me ask you a question. Think carefully. When you talk to a woman you truly want, do you stay centered? Or do you start performing? If you've ever felt yourself tighten up around the woman you like while staying confident around women you don't, comment below. Yep, that's me. You're not alone. You're just misreading the signal. Because neutrality isn't rejection, it's evaluation. And men who don't understand this lose the opportunity before it even begins. Now that you understand the first two psychological traps, being chosen instead of choosing, and misreading the reactions of high-value women, let's move into something deeper, something most attractive men never admit out loud, even to themselves. Because the third reason is not about women at all. It's about you, your image, your pride, your fear. And once we uncover this, everything about your dating life will make sense. Reason 3, he's afraid to break the illusion. Attractive men carry something heavy, something invisible but powerful, an image, a reputation, an expectation. Whether you like it or not, the world treats you differently when you're good looking. People assume things about you. You must be confident. You must be good with women. You must be able to get whoever you want. And because of that, you start building a quiet pressure inside your own mind, a pressure to always look like the guy who could get her. But here's the irony. The more you protect the illusion, the less you actually act. Let me explain. I want you to imagine this scene. You and your friends are at a bar, music playing, dim lights, good energy all around. Then you notice her. the woman, the one who stands out without even trying, the one who instantly pulls your attention. Your chest tightens a little, your mind goes blank for a second. You think, damn, that's exactly my type. Your friends notice the shift and tease you. Bro, go talk to her. You're the handsome one, she'll love you. You've got the best shot here. But you don't move. You sip your drink. You pretend to be chill. You wait for the perfect moment, which never arrives. Because deep down, this thought haunts you. Okay, but what if I'm wrong? What if she doesn't like me? What if this is the moment I find out I'm not as attractive as people say? And so you stay still. But here's the twist. Someone else doesn't. Your friend, who's more average looking but more relaxed, simply walks over. He says hi. He cracks a simple joke. He gets her smiling. 5 minutes later, she's talking to him. Not because he's better looking, not because he's more interesting, but because he took the step you were too afraid to take. This is the illusion trap. Attractive men are often so afraid of failure, they avoid opportunities where failure is possible. They only make moves when they're almost certain they'll get a positive response. They only flirt when they know it's safe. They only approach when they're 90% sure she already likes them. But here's the psychological problem. High-quality women rarely give obvious green lights. So you stay passive, you stay frozen, you stay comfortable inside the image instead of stepping into reality. And by the time you realize it, someone else already made the move. Let me ask you something, and be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you let the moment slip just to protect your perfect record? How many times have you avoided approaching the woman you really wanted because you were afraid of losing the image of being the confident, attractive guy? If this hits you even a little, comment, I know that feeling. Because that fear, more than anything else, is what keeps attractive men alone. Reason 4, he relies on online dating, the silent trap. This is the part most men don't want to hear, but it's the truth that changes everything. Online dating, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever you use, is the great equalizer. It flattens the playing field. It destroys your advantage. In the real world, your presence matters. Your voice, your facial expressions, your confidence, your energy, your vibe. But on dating apps, you are nothing but a picture. And here's the brutal truth. Good-looking women receive hundreds, sometimes thousands of matches and messages a week. Which means your attractiveness isn't special there. You're competing with everyone. You're one swipe away from being forgotten. You blend in. And the worst part, even when you match with a woman you're genuinely interested in, she disappears. Not because she didn't like you, but because 50 other guys messaged her that same hour. Let me tell you a story that happens every single day. Maybe it's even happened to you. You match with an absolutely stunning woman. You're excited. You feel something spark. You send a good message. Not desperate, not try hard, just a solid opener. She replies. You exchange a few texts. It feels like you're building momentum. But then, nothing. She goes offline. She doesn't reply. Hours pass, then days. Then you open the chat and see, user has unmatched you. And you sit there confused. Did you say something wrong? Did she lose interest? Did she get bored? No. She simply had too many options. And you became one of many. And here's where the real trap happens. You start talking to women who respond quickly, women who are easier to connect with, women who are more available. But are they the women you actually want? No, they're just convenient. And this leads to the same cycle as reason one. You get chosen instead of choosing. Online dating tricks you into thinking you're being active, when in reality, you're only participating in the easiest form of dating, the one where you have the least advantage. Let me ask you, do you find yourself exhausted by dating apps? Do you feel burned out? Do you feel like you're stuck in endless chatting with no real progress? If yes, write, apps aren't it. Because here's the truth. Attractive men do best in real life, not on screens. Women feel your presence, your confidence, your subtle cues, your humor, your eye contact, your natural charisma. Online dating strips all of that away and reduces you to a static image in an endless pile of other images. It's a silent trap, one that steals your natural advantage and convinces you that online dating is your best option when it's actually your worst. Now you've heard all four reasons. You've seen the patterns, you've recognized the traps. But here's the part that flips the entire thing upside down. Most attractive men think they're failing because they're not impressive enough. But the truth, the shocking truth, is this. Attractive men don't fail because they're lacking something. They fail because they don't act like men who know their worth. Let that sink in. You don't struggle because you're not handsome enough. You struggle because you're waiting, hesitating, overthinking, misreading, avoiding risk, protecting the illusion instead of living the reality. It's not about her. It's about you stepping into the version of yourself who is decisive, intentional, grounded, and courageous. And when you do, everything changes. Before we move on, I want you to comment something powerful. Something that tells me you're ready for the shift. I'm done protecting the illusion. Because the moment you stop hiding behind your image, you finally become the man who chooses his own story. You've made it to the final part, and this is where everything comes together. Because now you understand the traps. Being chosen instead of choosing. Misreading subtle signals. Protecting the illusion. And losing your advantage in the world of dating apps. But none of those are the real problem. They are only symptoms. The real issue, the one that sits beneath every mistake attractive men make, is something far deeper, far more human, and far more fixable. So let's step into the climax. From the outside, people assume everything is easy for you. They think women chase you. They think you have endless options. They think you're confident all the time. But the truth? Attractive men struggle in silence. Not because they're lacking something, but because they're avoiding the very opportunities that matter most. Most men fear rejection. But attractive men fear something even bigger. Losing the identity that says, I'm the guy who can get any girl. That fear makes you passive. That fear makes you cautious. That fear makes you wait instead of act. And that fear creates the biggest paradox in your dating life. You fail not because you're not enough, but because you're too busy protecting the image of being enough. Think about this for a moment. If you saw a man who was average looking but fearless, the type who walks up to the woman he wants, makes eye contact, starts the conversation, embraces the uncertainty, he will outperform the handsome man who hesitates every single time. Because women aren't choosing the best looking man. They're choosing the man who makes them feel something, the man who shows direction, the man who is grounded enough to handle discomfort. The man who moves forward despite not knowing the outcome. So here's the twist, the revelation. Attractive men don't lose to better-looking men. They lose to braver men. Let that hit. They lose to men who act. Men who try. Men who risk embarrassment, men who step into the unknown, because courage is more attractive than beauty. Presence is more magnetic than perfection. And intention is stronger than admiration. This is the moment I want you to realize something powerful. Your problem was never that you weren't attractive enough. Your problem was that you weren't acting like men who know their worth. And the moment you shift that, everything changes. The shift from passive attraction to active intention. So how do you shift? How do you stop being the man who's chosen and start being the man who chooses? How do you stop misreading signals and start responding with confidence? How do you stop protecting the illusion and start living boldly? Let's break it down into something you can apply immediately. Lesson 1. Choose with intention, not convenience. From now on, I want you to ask yourself, do I actually want this woman, or is she simply available? If she's not the woman you truly want, don't entertain it. Don't waste your time. Don't fall into the convenience trap, because every time you choose convenience over intention, you weaken your ability to choose boldly when it matters. Start choosing deliberately. Start choosing with clarity. Start choosing with standards, not with availability. Lesson 2. Stop expecting beautiful women to validate you. High-value women don't rush. They don't give free green lights. They don't reward nervousness. Their calmness is not rejection, it's evaluation. Whenever you feel your heart beat faster, your voice gets shakier, your mind go blank because a woman is exactly your type. Pause, breathe, slow down. Ask yourself, am I reacting to her or staying grounded in myself? Your calmness is your advantage. Your presence is your power. Your stability is your signal. Beautiful women don't need you to be flashy. They need you to be secure. Lesson 3. Let go of the need to look perfect. Your image is not who you are. Your reputation is not your reality. Your ego is not your identity. The moment you choose courage over perfection, you become unstoppable. Approach her even if someone is watching. Speak confidently even if your voice shakes a little. Make the move even if you're not 100% sure she'll say yes. Because the man who tries, the man who risks, the man who steps forward wins more than the man who waits for the perfect moment. Lesson 4. Use your real-life advantage. The world has convinced men that online dating is the default, but you're not most men. In person, you win without trying. You win with presence. You win with the subtleties apps cannot capture. So from now on, put yourself out into the real world. Say hi at the gym. Start conversations at cafes. Smile at the woman you notice on the street. Let people feel your energy. Because in real life, you're not just a snapshot. You're an experience. And women choose the experience, not the photo. Let's recap the 4 reasons attractive men often fail with the women they truly want. They get chosen instead of choosing, living passively, not intentionally. They misread subtle signals, mistaking evaluation for rejection. They fear breaking the illusion, protecting image over taking action. 4. They rely too much on dating apps, losing the advantage their presence gives them. But now you're no longer blind to these patterns. Now you understand what's been happening underneath the surface. And now you're standing at the edge of a decision. Will you keep living as the passive version of yourself? Or will you step into the man who knows his worth and shows it through action? Reject the passive role. Reject the illusion of perfection. Reject the trap of convenience. Because women don't fall in love with potential. they fall in love with presence. And your presence, when you allow it to shine, is powerful enough to change your entire dating life. Actionable steps. Do these starting today. Talk to at least one woman in real life this week. Not to impress her, not to get validation, just to practice presence. 2. Stop engaging with women you don't actually want. End the convenience cycle. 3. Lean into neutral reactions. Don't fill silence. Don't over-explain. Let your calmness do the work. 4. Take one small risk every day. A smile, a compliment, an approach. A step forward. Risk builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum creates opportunity. Listen, you're not struggling because you're not enough. You're struggling because you've been living as a limited version of yourself. But the moment you start acting with intention, the moment you start choosing actively, the moment you start stepping into uncertainty, you'll notice something powerful. Women respond differently. Opportunities appear. Tension builds. Attraction deepens. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally stopped hiding behind the illusion. Before you go, I want you to answer this in the comments. Which one of these patterns hit you the most? Your awareness is the first step toward changing your story. And if you want deeper insights into attraction, confidence, and female psychology, hit like, share this video, and subscribe for more. Because this journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning of the man you're becoming.